Audrey and Friends. Audrey and Friends was a British animated TV show that was created and directed by David Bennett. The series aired on Channel 5's Milkshake and Shake blocks in autumn of 2002. The show was about a girl named Audrey. Her pet dog Roundball and her friends Mina and Constance live in a world of the internet, with texting and medieval love potions. The series had been animated, produced, and distributed by Impossible Television. David Bennett had pitched this series to Channel 5 with a pilot episode, which aired December 26, 2000 on Channel Milkshake's block as a Christmas special. The network had eventually picked it up as a series and would last 26 episodes. However, after all the initial episodes aired, the series came to a stop and was cancelled. No home media release was ever made for it. The show wasn't received very positively. It didn't have good ratings in the UK due to its cheap animation and character design, which was said to have traumatized people. Interestingly, the show did have some sort of small cult following in New Zealand, with the series airing on Prime for many years. For a very long time, no footage or images of the show existed. The only evidence of this show's existence was from an IMDb page and a tiny bit of content of a promo for the series. On January 3rd, 2023, a YouTuber who goes by Lucas's Archive discovered and uploaded the pilot episode to his channel. Then on February 22nd, 2023, a user who goes by LovelyAngel1004 had contacted one of the writers, Adam Peters, through email about the show. A day later, he sent her scans of the inlays from 5 fake VHS releases he made with information on each episode, the voice cast, and other members of the production team. Then on March 5th, 2023, LovelyAngel1004 again then contacted the creator of the show, David Bennett, via email, only for him to confirm that he himself doesn't have any full episodes on hand. He then sent a photo of his old portfolio page with concept art from the series. A couple of days later, he sent a WeTransfer containing more artwork and a small clip from the show. As of today, only the pilot episode is found. The rest of the series is considered lost and missing entirely. Lost song misattributed to Michael Jackson. A video was uploaded onto YouTube titled Michael Jackson Sexy Lady by a user who goes by Michael Jackson 804. The only description for this video is New Song 2009. Here is a small snippet of the video. A post was made onto the Internet Mysteries subreddit, putting a spotlight onto this obscure Michael Jackson song. But why was it put onto this subreddit? The poster states, "This song is definitely not by Michael Jackson, and what few comments there are highlight that. Furthermore, this new song, claiming to be from 2009, was posted several months after MJ passed. I know there was some talk about releasing songs after he passed that he worked on that weren't released before, but again, I don't know much on MJ. What I do know is I read the Wikipedia article and could find no such song released in 2009 called Sexy Lady by him. I looked into all of his songs released or made around 2009, namely Best of Joy, This Is It, and Planet Earth, none of which are this song. So, if MJ didn't make this song, who did? It seems that no one knows the origin of this song. Where did the uploader acquire this song from? A commenter in the Reddit post discovered from an old blog post from 2010 discussing unreleased Michael Jackson songs. This mysterious song was included in the list. One of the comments talks about finding the song on LimeWire shortly after Michael Jackson died. Misattribution on LimeWire was incredibly common and deliberate. It's possible that the only place this song was uploaded online was on LimeWire. would explain why it can't be found anywhere. Likely a local production. Some parts of the song are ever so slightly mispronounced, so the singer definitely isn't a native English speaker. Interesting. LimeWire was one of the most popular peer-to-peer clients in the 2000s, and it allowed millions to download many pirated materials, particularly pirated music. If this was only posted onto LimeWire, it would make sense as to why no one can track down this song's origin, considering LimeWire is now gone. And would also make sense as to why the uploader of this video believed that this was a real new MJ song. The origin of this song still remains a mystery. Food Fight the video game. I know I already talked about this in a video around 7 to 8 months ago, but I just want more people to know about this fascinating case of lost media. I don't know why it isn't talked about more, it's just so cool. I'm sure most of you are aware with what Food Fight is by now. It's a 3D animated movie which originally had a 2003 release date. However, after the original files being deleted by the creator, the film was delayed heavily and wasn't released until 2012, a whole decade later. It is considered to be one of the worst animated movies of all time. On October 13th, 2021, a user who goes by Jacob Lenstar had made a post regarding a video game based on the Food Fight animated film. A friend pointed out while watching footage of E3 2006, a video game based on the movie Food Fight can be seen. Would have been published by Global Star Software and released for GameCube, Game Boy Advanced, PlayStation 2, and other consoles. There is absolutely no information online about this, and this footage is the first time ever seen or hearing about it. It looks like it would have been a 3D platformer where you play as Dex Detective. Does anyone have any further information? The user would post a link to the video in the post, which shows the only known footage of this unreleased video game at the Take-Two Interactive booth at E3 2006. When I originally talked about this lost game, I got several comments stating that this was obviously fake lost media and wasn't real. Even on the original video linked in the Reddit post, people agree that this game is a hoax. I guess people just noticed that both the Reddit post and the video linked were posted the same day 2021, not 2006 like the post says. I believe some people assume that this video was some sort of edit, and that's understandable. However, this video linked from 2021 is just a small clip from a 2006 video. E3 2006, an overview, was posted onto YouTube May 18th, 2006. And at 4 minutes and 8 seconds, you can see the Food Fight video game. I promise you, this game is very real. To this day, the game is a mystery. Not a single thing is known about it. And this video still is the only footage we have of the game. Knockoff animated movie about bees. On the Lost Media Wiki forums, a post was made by a user discussing some lost knockoff animated bee movie they remember from their childhood. Yeah, you can probably tell if you've been watching my channel, but I really enjoy these cases of lost media that involve some weird thing someone saw ages ago and can't find now. There's something so intriguing about these, and is something pretty much all of us can relate to. We all have some weird fuzzy memory involving a specific piece of media, and no matter how hard you try to dig it up and see it again, it seems to be non-existent. The post reads as follows. Hello everyone, I made an account just to post this story. Let me tell you guys a potential lost media I remember from my youth. The following story happened years ago and my memory is really fuzzy, but I will try my best to give as much info as possible. I'm from Mexico and went to a private school in my elementary, primary and middle school. When I was in about 3rd or 4th grade, around 2010 or 2011, a black bus came into our school's parking lot to show us a movie/video. We were in the middle of a class, when the teacher said we'd had to go outside to watch a video outside. 10 minutes later, we all went outside and a black bus was there parked in the middle of the parking lot. We were in the hot baking sun for a good half hour until they let us in. After struggling to fit every single one of us, 20 or so students, we sat down and started seeing the movie. The movie was a crappy B-movie knockoff, something in line with the famous video Brinkido. The animation was awful, it had poor renders, the bees looked creepy and barely emote, and the animation was stilted AF. I could not remember anything of the plot. It was some sort of main bee defeats the evil dictator bee to impress a girl bee type movie. I sat there with a friend of mine while watching this pile of banana, and he was telling me how it takes a lot of skill to make an animated movie like this. I was just confused by what he meant. The only scene I remember vividly is the following. After or near the end credits, the main girl bee gives a kiss on the cheek to the main bee protagonist, leading him to blush and fly away. That is the only scene I remember from this thing. Aside from the random blurry screen caps my brain saved from this thing. The movie was really short. I don't think we lasted more than 30 minutes. After it was done, absolutely no one commented on it. No one brought it up again. No teachers or classmates talked about it. The bus went away that same day and never came back. I stayed on that private school from 2007 to 2017. The years passed, and last year I buried this memory for years until last year when it randomly popped into my head, and now I keep thinking of it. I am aware of the large market of knockoff animated movies, mainly the one from Video Brinkido and other similar companies. And yes, the animation looked on par with something made from them. I managed to find 2 knockoff B movies though, Little B made by Video Brinkido and Plan B, made by some other garbage studio. I saw them, if anything matched my memories, and not only do the character designs not match with what I remember, the kiss on the cheek scene is not present in both movies. Now I want to set the record straight. This is not a Mandela effect or anything of the sort. I know what I saw, but if there is anyone who are experts in finding lost media, it's the internet. So that's why I'm trying to reach out to you guys. So why do I want to find this crappy B movie absolutely only me remembers? I don't know what weird Russian experiment that Black Bus did to us, but I want to know if anyone reading this remembers something like this happening to them at their school. I want to find this movie for the funny novelty really, and so I can get this movie out of my mind. Some users brought up some suggestions, like this film, which is titled this. I'm not going to pronounce this, I'll butcher it insanely. The original poster stated that this unfortunately isn't it. Do any of you have any idea as to what this film could be? Why were the children shown this specific film and in this weird van? Very strange stuff, and hopefully it surfaces soon. Slime Survivor. Slime Survivor is a game show pilot that was filmed at Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida in April 2000. The reason as to why the pilot wasn't greenlit by Nickelodeon isn't known. However, is rumored that it was ditched in favor of the show Double Dare 2000, possibly due to budget issues. It's a very obscure pilot. The only known footage of Slime Survivor that exists is in a 5-minute compilation video, created by former crew members of Nickelodeon Studios for its 10-year anniversary in 2000. Only 5 seconds of footage without the original audio exists. It's unknown if Nickelodeon still has the original pilot archived. There's a good chance this pilot will never see the light of day. Club Mario. Club Mario, which started airing on May 14th, 1990, had temporarily replaced the live-action episodes of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Club Mario featured extreme Mario-obsessed teenagers Tommy Treehugger and co-MC, who in these segments would goof around. Club Mario was not received very well, and was heavily disliked by most of its target audience. It's said that the master tapes for these segments had been wiped by Deke Entertainment. all except for the Unzappables, which is the only known episode to be released on home media. In October 2016, 13 episodes were found and had been posted onto YouTube. Then in 2022, the YouTube channel Rabbit Filmmaker TV had uploaded 23 Club Mario episodes onto their channel. It appears 29 episodes are still considered lost. Jet Squadron. This was a cancelled Sega AM3 game that had been shown off at the AOU Amusement Expo in the year 2000. It was the third game in the Gunblade series, and was to be the successor to both Gunblade New York and LA Machine Guns. The game appeared at the AOU Amusement Expo and after that was never mentioned again. No prototype or ROM of it has ever surfaced. Posts on NeoJaf, Arcade History, and System 16 make mention of this game. These posts are the only evidence of this game ever existing. Interestingly, screenshots of this game had at one point existed. However, the websites that these screenshots had been on were taken down and lost. Not even any footage of it at the AOU Amusement Expo has resurfaced. Diary of a Wimpy Kid promo. On my Have You Seen These Strange Pieces of Lost Media video I did recently, I received a little fascinating comment discussing some sort of lost promo for the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. This is kinda out there, but I'm wondering if anyone remembers this promo video for the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book that I've been trying to find. It was shown to my class around 2007 when the very first book was just about to release, so I think they were trying to get us excited about the new books coming out. What I distinctly remember was that there were excerpts from the book read by a voice actor doing a cartoonish kid's voice along with some very limited animation. That probably makes it the very first depiction of Greg in an audio-visual format since the movies were still years away and like I said, I don't think the book was even out by that point. It's crazy because for a series that became this huge, you can definitely tell the publishers from the start had a lot of faith in it. Since I remember the promo really hyping up this series as the next big thing and everyone in my class left excited to read it when it came out. I've had no luck finding it myself, but even if one other person knows what I'm talking about, I'd be so happy. Do any of you remember watching this promo? It would be really interesting to see the first ever depiction of Greg before the books or movies were even released. Hopefully by putting some awareness onto this promo, we can dig it up from obscurity. Mecha Nick. Mecha Nick is a British children's animated series created by Peter Scott of Impossible TV, which ran from 2003 to 2004, running for a total of 87-minute long episodes airing on Channel 5's Milkshake block. The show revolves around a mechanic character named Nick, who lives in Tooleytown, helping out all the different residents who live there. It was one of the few early shows of the time that were completely 3D animated. The series had only received one home media release for VHS and DVD, which had included the first 8 episodes of the series. These first 8 episodes, as well as a couple more, have been uploaded online. However, it seems that the majority of the series hasn't resurfaced, with Season 2 in its entirety becoming lost media. Lost Germa Egg Stream. Germa985 is a popular Twitch streamer who plays an assortment of different video games and partakes in all kinds of shenanigans. On February 15th, 2012, Germa had published a video titled TF2 Facecam Fortress Live Bad Water, in which he states that he will eat a raw egg on camera if he fails to destroy a sentry nest in one life. Germa fails to destroy the nest and then makes a promise to eat a raw egg in a later upcoming video. A week later, a new video was published known as TF2 Randomizer Insanity, Germa vs the Eggs, in which he announces an egg stream.
So judging by what happened in the video, I have to eat an egg. And I did say in that video, I did say to eat a raw egg. I was gonna eat a raw egg. But guys, you can't eat raw eggs. If you eat a raw egg, I mean, it's not terrible, but there's a chance you can contract salmonella, and I don't want to have that like looming over my head when I eat it. So this is what I'm proposing to you guys. This is what I'm gonna do this weekend. This Saturday during my live stream, it's gonna be the egg stream. And what do I mean by egg stream? I'm gonna cook up 12 or 24 hard-boiled eggs, and every time I'm gonna play Team Fortress 2, every single time I die, I'm gonna eat one of the hard-boiled eggs until they're all gone.
Germa was going to be playing TF2 live, and every single time he died, he would eat a whole boiled egg. This stream has become lost media. It hasn't resurfaced since and has been unfortunately lost to time. Scrubby Bear. On the Lost Media subreddit, a post was made by Nintendoman01, who was in search for a Scrubby Bear movie. Hi r/Lost Media. My sister and I were reminiscing of our childhood when we remembered a movie that's called Scrubby Bear. We watched the movie on a VHS tape back in kindergarten around 2004 to 2005. The movie is about a bear named Scrubby Bear and his partner who is a bottle of soap, and them teaching a kid the importance of washing their hands in order to not get sick. I found one clip where it shows germs rapping about how deadly they are on YouTube. I've looked everywhere but cannot find the whole movie. Whenever I Google Scrubby Bear, it shows a book reading of the same concept to schools. Though I did find that Scrubby Bear is part of the Red Cross organization. I just remember the ending where Scrubby Bear sings with a whole school, and that's about it. If anyone could help, it would be appreciated. Also, the clip in question. In the comments section of this clip, it appears a lot more people are in search for the entire Scrubby Bear movie. However, any efforts in finding it have been futile. It seems that this film isn't anywhere to be found within the vast landscape of the internet. It has completely vanished. Celebrity number 6. In January 2020, a Reddit user who goes by TonsterH made different posts on various subreddits talking about how they own curtains containing fabrics, covered with pop art style illustrations of 8 different celebrities. They needed help in identifying each celebrity on these curtains. Since these original Reddit posts, users have been able to successfully identify almost every celebrity on the curtain's fabric along with the source photo used. However, the identity of one of these celebrities, nicknamed Celebrity Number 6, has remained a mystery. Users to this day are still searching for a source photo to determine who this person is. The mystery has since garnered a huge dedicated audience. Do you maybe happen to know who Celebrity Number 6 is? Tales in Mushroom Village. This was a 2009 Chinese computer animated series that was produced by Hefei-based Anhui Lister 3D animation production company. The show follows the tales of animal characters who live in the titular setting. The main protagonist consists of a squirrel who goes by Now Now. Now Now and his friends fight against nuisance skunks and a giant python. An online encyclopedia has stated that the series has 100 episodes, each episode having a runtime of 20 minutes each. The next year, in 2010, the show would get its own sequel series, with the subtitle Alien Visitors, where villagers battle to save their home from alien threats. This sequel had only 10 episodes, with a length of 20 minutes each. It is unknown what network in China had broadcasted this series. Out of the 100 episodes of the original Tales in Mushroom Village series, only 10 episodes are known to be on home video through a DVD set with Chinese and English subtitles. As for the sequel series, none of the Alien Visitors episodes are known to be circulated on home video or even the internet. This is a very obscure show. It's really hard to find any information on it. Both of the series had their trailers posted onto the video site Youku, which have since been reposted onto YouTube. It seems that the production company behind Tales in Mushroom Village has gone out of business, as its business license has been revoked and its website no longer exists. Pizzarollo. Pizzarollo was an interactive game show hosted by David ShaiiValley, I believe. The series aired on the French channel Canal Plus around 1994, from Monday to Friday at 6:30 p.m. The show contained a pretty interesting concept, and would have contestants call live to play a video game controlling the player character on screen using the keys on their phone. The game revolved around pizza delivery people who would ride through a city with their bikes while avoiding obstacles. The game was extremely difficult. Using the keys from the phone as controls was tricky. Not only that, but there was a slight delay due to the length of the connection to the TV station. There is very little footage of this game show. Most of it has become lost media. Mini Match. Mini Match was Cartoon Network's very first MMO, which had launched back in 2007. Players within this game would minimize themselves by creating a custom avatar called Minis. You could then explore a rendered 3D environment and play various multiple Cartoon Network themed games. It was definitely a popular game. It was said to have had 4 million monthly unique visitors. In 2009, the game was eventually closed down upon the release of their next MMO Fusion Fall. The game hasn't seen the light of day since its shutdown. Do any of you remember playing this? Rabbids Invasion Facebook game. Rabbids Invasion was a Facebook game created by Ubisoft Paris and published by Ubisoft on April 3rd, 2012. The game was set in a world in which humans lived peacefully. As Rabbids, the goal of the game was to invade this happy world, causing all sorts of chaos, as well as collecting experience and items that would become useful later on. On January 28, 2013, the Rabbids Invasion Facebook page announced that the game will be closed on February 13, 2013. It's unknown as to why the game had shut down. However, notably, the title for the game, Rabbids Invasion, has since been used for the popular animated TV series, which aired months later in August 2013. There's a chance this game was shut down due to its low player base. The game was unpopular, and there are not many gameplay videos online to watch of it. As of today, there is no way of playing the game, nor are there any assets or files available online. Breakfast with Bear. Breakfast with Bear was a spin-off of the popular show I'm sure most of you are familiar with, Bear in the Big Blue House. This spin-off series aired on the Disney Channel block Playhouse Disney from June 20th, 2005 up until September 16th, 2006. The spin-off revolved around Bear traveling to different kids' homes and helping with their daily preparations, hygienical needs, games, songs, breakfast, and other daily traditions. The series came to be after the voice actress for Luna the Moon of Bear in the Big Blue House, Charlene Thigpen, tragically passed away on March 12, 2003. As this event occurred during the airing of the 4th season, 8 episodes of the main series that was set to air were put on hold until 2006, creating a 3-year hiatus. During this hiatus, the Disney Channel executive, Nancy Cantor, had called for a spin-off of the series to be made. 20 episodes of Breakfast with Bear were produced. Currently, out of the 20 episodes that aired, 13 of them have become lost, with the first episode being only partially found. Quickie Music Maker. On the Lost Media subreddit, a post was created by a user who goes by OLR92, bringing light onto some Nesquik music maker of some sort. Quickie Music Maker came out in 2002 on the Nesquik site. It was also on the Disney site to play. This is another lost game. You can do a partial crawl to find this on internet archives, but unplayable. I'm so desperate to hear this music again. I have contacted the director of Zentropy, obviously not the company anymore, but I can't find any other contacts that I could contact. Also, Flashpoint haven't uploaded it either, so I think it's a tricky one to create. This is the only thing I can find on it. Also, this article from when it was about to go live. This appears to be just another forgotten Flash game which has been left to fall through the cracks of time. Seriously, no one else remembers this game? It hasn't been talked about anywhere other than the sites OLR92 provided. Another case of lost forgotten media. Erased Mystery Movie. On the tip of my tongue subreddit, a post was made by a user who was in search for an American thriller mystery movie, where a white man was gradually being forgotten by everyone around him to the point where he was being erased. I'm looking for an American thriller mystery drama movie, 1995 to 2010, where a white man is gradually being forgotten by everyone around him to the point where he's being erased from everywhere and everyone's memory. He lives in an apartment that I think he just moved in, and he's been having a cordial relationship with one of his neighbors, until his neighbor forgets about him too and treats him like a stranger. At some point, he visits the grave of his family in a graveyard because he's losing his mind and wants to know that he's real and not going crazy. He's quite alone throughout the movie. The general tones of the movie might be dull. Thank you. Edit some more details. It's really not a comedy. The movie gets even more depressing as it proceeds, along with the man losing his mind. The colors, dull, not saturated. Quality, grainy. The main character, middle-aged man, black hair, maybe wearing a long black coat. Edit 2. I think when the character goes to the graveyard, some names connected to him on the graves or even the graves vanish before his eyes. That's when he understood something. So it may be supernatural, or it was all just in his head. The original poster included a list of suggestions which are not the film they are looking for. It seems that to this day, the film still hasn't been identified. Do any of you watching perhaps know what movie this is? Stoing Circus. Stoing Circus was a French animated TV series from 2003 which revolved around a flea circus. The show was the last TV series that was produced by Praxinos before their closure in March 2004. Unfortunately, instead of going out with a bang, their last series had fallen into obscurity. Although 10 episodes of the show were released in France and Canada on DVD, and reruns are supposedly being aired on the French IPTV network, Gong, full episodes of the series are nowhere to be found anywhere. Every episode of the show is either only partially found or completely lost. Super Monkey Ball 2 lost promotional wallpapers. Super Monkey Ball 2 is a 2002 game that was on the Nintendo GameCube platform, created by Sega's Amusement Vision department. Back in 2003, every single month, the Japanese Super Monkey Ball 2 website would upload different wallpapers for users to use on their desktop. 14 wallpapers are presumed to exist. However, as of today, only 8 have been found, with half of them being in low resolution. The April, June, July, and November wallpapers have been completely lost to the depths of time. Mario Demo Virtual Boy. At Shishinkai 1994, Nintendo had presented their then up-and-coming console, the Virtual Boy. In order to demonstrate the Virtual Boy's different stereoscopic 3D effects, Nintendo had set up many consoles which included a small demo featuring Mario. In this demo, a rendered image of Mario would appear under the Virtual Boy logo. The logo then flies towards the viewer letter by letter, showcasing its 3D capabilities. The demo was reportedly hard-coded onto the Virtual Boy prototypes, instead of using an average cartridge. I like to think that maybe Nintendo still has these consoles stored somewhere. The Virtual Boy demo hasn't resurfaced since this event. I don't know about you guys, but the render of Mario in this demo looks terrifying. There's something so off about it, it just doesn't look like Mario at all. Maybe it's just this one screenshot of it that looks off. Perhaps in the actual demo with the Virtual Boy graphics it would look a lot better, but I don't know, we'll never know. SpongeBob Fortune Cookie. On the Lost Media Wiki forums, a post was made detailing a scene from SpongeBob that seems to not exist anywhere. Okay, hear me out on this. I remember back in the mid-2000s, I was somewhere between 4 to 6. I was in the living room and I remember watching a SpongeBob scene on TV where SpongeBob gives Patrick a fortune cookie and Patrick eats the whole thing and SpongeBob says, Patrick, you ate the fortune. I don't remember much else, but the animation looked to be season 1 or early season 2. However, I've watched every episode made up to 2007, and I can confirm that no such scene was ever shown in an episode. But that doesn't mean it never existed at all. It could have been animated for any other piece of SpongeBob media, like a commercial, bumper, promo, trailer, video game, deleted scene, storyboard, parody, etc. Just need to find which one. And no, it's not from Layman Fortune, since that episode didn't even come out until 10 years later, and no such scene was in that episode. I swear I photographically remember this, but at the same time it could be a Mandela effect or a fever dream. If it's not SpongeBob, then it was definitely some other cartoon I was watching at that time. Does anyone know if they can do some research to find any other media scenes of characters eating the fortune of a fortune cookie to see which one I might be misattributing SpongeBob to? My guess is that if this scene did at one point actually exist, was perhaps from some SpongeBob commercial advertising a specific product that just hasn't resurfaced since its airing. Similar to the SpongeBob Got Milk commercial, a commercial that didn't resurface until 2022, after years of speculation. Very interesting stuff. McJunior Club TV. McJunior Club TV is a 3-minute Dutch live-action series that was created by Nickelodeon and McDonald's. The show aired between different programs in the Netherlands around mid to late 2008, as a way to promote the former kids' website, McJunior Club. The series revolved around a McDonald's employee named Bob, who was not the best at his McDonald's job. The only things which actually confirm this series did exist at one point include a couple screenshots, a forum post, a leader posted onto Vimeo, and a broken episode list from the Dutch Nickelodeon website. This show is so obscure that some people are even questioning its legitimacy, questioning if it ever even existed. Not a lot of people remember this show, so do any of you maybe remember seeing this? Oh, Grow Up. This was an American sitcom that was created by Alan Ball. The show had started airing on ABC from September 22nd, 1999 and would end December 28th of the same year. The series was about a group of former college roommates who find themselves as roommates again in a Brooklyn apartment. They all dispute their own different challenges. Initially airing on Wednesday nights, ABC moved the series to Tuesday nights in November of 1999. But in December, the network had stopped the series entirely to make room for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This resulted in 2 episodes being unaired. On April 19th, 2023, a user on YouTube who goes by The Viewing Room had uploaded the pilot episode. This remains as the only found episode. Every other episode hasn't seen the light of day since. Parasol stars Lost Commodore 64 port. In 1992, Ocean Software, which is a European game developer, had obtained the license to release Taito's 1991 PC Engine platformer, Parasol Stars, for the European market. Although most home computers in Europe had a release for this game, the Commodore 64 version was never released. Why was this? Parasol Stars for the Commodore 64 was operated by Colin Porsche and composed by Keith Tinman. During its development, Colin and his wife had a dispute in their marriage, and during a fit of drunken rage, Colin's wife went on to completely destroy Colin's computer and his floppy disks. This, of course, led to all the development done for the port destroyed. Even all the backups were demolished. In a way to keep silence to Colin's personal life, Ocean Software went on to construct a fake story, stating that the game was instead stolen during a home burglary. It was promised that the Commodore 64 port would be remade and released later. However, this never came into fruition. It would have taken way too long for Colin to redo the game from scratch. The port was inevitably cancelled. This is a piece of lost media that will definitely never see the light of day. Even the music for the game that was composed by Keith Tinman is completely lost, as he no longer has the original master discs. Spell Up. Spell Up was a WebGL HTML5 web game and a Chrome experiment developed by Google back in 2014. In this game, the word was dictated and the player had a goal of spelling that word letter by letter using their microphone or keyboard if necessary. If the player spelled the word correctly, it would then be added to a tower, and coins would be rewarded to the player. If one letter of the word was spelled wrong, it destroyed the tower. The game was available to play up until the end of December 2018. The only thing saved through the Wayback Machine was the background image. Most of its files weren't saved, leaving this game by Google lost. The TNT show lost unaired Michael Jackson sketch. The TNT show was a 12-part Channel 4 comedy sketch show which would broadcast late evenings during 2009. The show would include a variety of jokes and sketches related to each week's news stories. It was co-hosted by comedians Jack Whitehall and Holly Walsh. On the evening of June 25th, 2009, a sketch parodying Michael Jackson was planned to be aired during the episode. This sketch would have featured an impersonator of the singer, with the gag focused on the rumors that the real Jackson was not present in public appearances, and was instead hiring impersonators. Whitehall would have interviewed a lookalike during the episode. The episode was running as usual. However, before the sketch could be shown, the show unexpectedly went off air, with a message disclaimer being shown instead, stating, "This program will continue with sound only." After some time passing, this message would later change to, "Programs will continue shortly," with an announcer blaming technical problems for the loss of the show. Just minutes before this episode was set to broadcast, rumors of Michael Jackson's death had been spreading around. These said rumors would be later confirmed true, just shortly after the episode finished airing. The following day, news broke out that cut to an apology message that was actually performed deliberately by Channel 4. Channel 4 stated, "In last night's broadcast of the TNT show, a sketch that had been recorded 2 days earlier covered a news story about Michael Jackson and his rumored stand-ins. In light of the breaking news of his death, Channel 4 felt it was appropriate not to broadcast the sketch and advise viewers of the cut in transmission. This Michael Jackson sketch hasn't seen the light of day. The episode which contained the sketch was later available to watch for 30 days after its initial air date on the Channel 4 on-demand service. It is, however, unknown if it actually contained the cut sketch." RuneScape Old Versions. On the Lost Media subreddit, a user who goes by HLWYS made a very interesting post. RuneScape 2001 to 2012. Nearly every old version of this online game is lost. But if you ever tried playing it once, you'd have a missing version. $200 bounty. Hi all. RuneScape is an online RPG that was very popular in the mid-2000s. It still exists today, but unfortunately the game's developers did not start keeping any full backups of the game until 2012, meaning everything before then is lost. Luckily, if you ever played the game even just once for a few minutes, then never again, the files would be downloaded and saved on your computer. We are offering a prize of $200 to the 5 oldest versions found over the next 2 months. The same person can win multiple prizes. So if you took incremental backups of your old drives every single month, now is your chance. Very cool stuff. Just thought I'd put this in the video to put some attention to it, and I'm sure most of you watching this have played RuneScape and maybe have these files, who knows. The Little Green Man. This was a British animated TV series which had aired on ITV from January 3rd, 1985 to March 28th of the same year. 12 episodes of this show had existed, however only 11 are known. The Little Green Man revolved around a boy who went by Cindy Keats, who becomes friends with a small green alien that only he is able to see. The show was narrated by Jon Pertwee, known for being the third Doctor on Doctor Who. Only the first episode has been found in full. 2 others remain only partially found, and the rest remains entirely lost. Cartoon Network Naruto bumper from the mid-2000s. On the Lost Media Wiki forums, a post was made which discussed what seems to be a lost bumper related to Naruto. When I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of Naruto back in the day and remember that they would show it on Toonami. I remember that there was a bumper that sometimes would play before an episode would air. It was a 3D rendered Hidden Leaf Village, with the Cartoon Network logo at the time plastered onto a wooden fence while 2 shuriken fly into the screen and hit the wooden board surrounding the logo. In the past few days, I've been thinking about it and tried to search it up through YouTube and all. Looking through the mass amount of Cartoon Network City era bumpers to no avail. I've also gone through a lot of Toonami bumpers I could find and searched through what I can there. Although if I remember, this was aired not during Toonami's block, so it's what's bugging me about this. I'm still looking to find information about this on my own and hopefully I can get some leads. However, I'm pretty much come up short and I'm hoping more interest is gathered about this. It would be pretty cool to find this bumper again. Yeah, just thought I would include this within the video, just a fun little lost bumper maybe some of you will be interested in finding. Tic-Tac-Toe Skyzone mobile game. Tic-Tac-Toe is a game show that was based on the game Tic-Tac-Toe. Contestants will answer questions in various categories to put up their respective symbol, X or O, on the board. 20 years after the show had aired, a mobile game was created for the game show. The game was developed by Skyzone Mobile and is based on the first syndicated version of the show. It was released for Brew, Java, BlackBerry, and iOS devices. There was also a light version released for iOS devices too. The game was released and shortly after would vanish. There are only screenshots of the iOS and BlackBerry versions, and one single gameplay video from the Brew version. There seems to be no playable ROM of the game. Pip Ahoy Pilot. Pip Ahoy is an animated preschool show produced by Cosgrove Hall Fitzpatrick Entertainment. This series aired on the UK network Channel 5's Milkshake block, starting 2014 and ending in 2018. Before the series aired, a pilot was created which contains designs that differ from the ones used in the actual show. This pilot is yet to be released. We do have 40 seconds of this pilot, however the rest of it remains lost. Lost SpongeBob Cheerios commercial. Now, this user on the Lost Media Wiki forums created a post November 24th, 2022, simply stating, I remember one time on TV around 2006, there was a SpongeBob Honey Nut Cheerios commercial. Can anyone help me find it? An hour later after this post being made, a user suggested that this commercial was maybe the one they remembered, despite it being from 2011 and not 2006. But the OP stated that no, they remember specifically that SpongeBob and the Bee mascot were eating the Cheerios together. Interesting. Could there be a lost SpongeBob Cheerios commercial out there waiting to be found? Or is this just an average case of false memory? The Return. On July 8th this year, a post was made onto the Lost Media subreddit regarding a lost 2015 short film called The Return. The post says the following. So I have a friend whose dad was on Breaking Bad, and one day out of curiosity, I looked at the guy's IMDb page. It was nothing out of the ordinary, till I saw this short film on there that he starred in called The Return. It had no photo of any kind, and I always like to find obscure media, so I clicked on it. There was no plot synopsis. It had the stars of the film, director, runtime, genre, and tagline. The stars were Reno Wilson, Trine Christensen, and Matt Berlin, my friend's dad. The genre was sci-fi, and it had the tagline, "Some planets are best left undiscovered." The runtime was 29 minutes, and the film had a director by the name of Courtney G. Jones. I looked up their YouTube to see if the short film was on there. Nothing. I then proceeded to look it up on both YouTube and Google, and all I could find was a Malaysian film with the same name that came out that same year. The film was also released in the US and done by the production studios Pod Intermedia and Under the Wire Productions. I'll put the link to the IMDb in the comments. I just want to know what this film is. Do any of you watching have any idea what this short film is? It seems to have completely disappeared. Scribble Vision. During 2003, a company known as Funny Garbage had partnered with Noggin to develop a game called Scribble Vision. Scribble Vision was advertised as a virtual coloring book that allowed children to color pictures and see their artwork become animated. The games were available to play on both the Noggin and Nick Jr. websites until November 2009, when they were merged together and all different web games were removed. Each artboard in this game requires its own anim.dcr, splash.jpg, and start.jpg files. These were not saved by Wayback until 2011. The Scribble Vision game resurfaced when it was included in Flashpoint, although some files are missing. The game is partially playable. Habbo Hotel Nokia Games. Between 2005 and 2007, the company Sulake had released 5 mobile Nokia games based on the famous MMO game Habbo Hotel. These games were known as Habbo Dreams, Puzzle Pipes, Duck Up, Space Pool, and Habbo Creatures. In 2012, gameplay videos of Habbo Dreams, Habbo Creatures, and Duck Up were posted onto YouTube by a channel that goes by Teodorni. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. These are the only pieces of gameplay footage we have of the games. Puzzle Pipes and Space Pool have only GIFs presenting few screenshots of the games, with no gameplay available whatsoever. These games are unplayable today. They have become completely unavailable. Mario Takes America. During 1992, the Toronto-based developer Sigam had proposed a CDI game featuring Mario to Philips. Philips liked the pitch and would fund the game. This was to be an educational game following Mario arriving in New York, who would travel across the country in various vehicles to reach Hollywood so he could star in a feature film. The game was to use full motion video footage, and would have used 2D animated sprites inspired by the recent Mario cartoons of that time. The game, after some time in development, was eventually cancelled by Philips, who were unimpressed with the progress the developers were making and cut funding. The video footage used taxed the CDI's memory greatly, and performance was poor. Sigam after this would go bankrupt. Upon cancellation, all of the game's assets were repossessed by the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. The developer of the game, who has revealed most of the information we know, actually has 2 VHS tapes of footage, but is unable to release any footage he owns without permission of the late producer Howard Greenspan's family. Sobakasu Pukai. Sobakasu Pukai, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, is an anime series that was made by Takashi Aoki and produced by Fuji TV Enterprise. This series aired on Fuji TV in Japan every Monday through Saturday from March 31st to October 4th, 1969, for 162 episodes. This series revolves around a boy named Bukai, who goes on many different adventures which involve fighting bad guys with help from a talking parrot, Ganko, and a friendly monster. After the show finished up airing, it never aired again or received any home media release. On the Lost Media Wiki, it states that no footage of the show can be found except for the opening and ending song. However, it appears that the YouTube channel that uploaded this opening has been terminated, and as far as I'm aware, the opening hasn't been uploaded anywhere else. So I guess the opening is now lost? The only surviving footage we have of this show is this one still. Pinch to Punch. This was a gag anime series created by Toshi Aoki and produced by Fuji TV Enterprise. This series aired on Fuji TV in Japan every Monday through Saturday from September 29th, 1969 to March 29th, 1970 for 156 episodes. You probably guessed by now, but this show was its successor to Sabukasu Bukai, the show we just discussed last entry. Most of the staff of that show continue to work on Pinch to Punch. This series revolves around Pinch and Punch, who are two twins who have a love for mischief and pranks. Although the show had 156 episodes made and aired, only a singular still and just a few pieces of information of the series have resurfaced. Bravo Man Binge-A-Bash. Bravo Man Binge-A-Bash was a mobile game released in August of 2013 for Android and iOS. The game was developed by Hyptic Games and published by Bandai Namco. It was a 2D auto-run platformer based on Shifty Look's Bravo Man webcomics and webtoon series. During March of 2014, the game had been pulled from both app stores, after Shifty Look shut down due to meeting its ultimate goal of reviving an older Namco series, Wonder Momo. On September 5th, 2020, Lost Media Wiki user Twitch had been able to obtain the OBB files along with the APK for Bravo Man Binge-A-Bash, which is available to download on archive.org. However, the game is completely unavailable. Since the servers for this game have been shut down, the game is completely inaccessible and lost. K-Lumbo Lost Kmart Safety Video. K-Lumbo, possibly titled K-Lumbo Safety is No Accident, was a Kmart safety video created around the early 1990s. Many people remember and have been trying to find. Former Kmart employees state that the safety video starred a Peter Falk-type actor as a detective named K-Lumbo, who investigates the safety protocols of Kmart employees. Proof that this safety video did actually exist comes from the 2001 court case Taurus vs Kmart Corp. It's unconfirmed if K-Lumbo and Safety is No Accident are one film or two. The court document makes mention of the titles conversely. However, both titles are described as having identical purposes and content. Do any of you watching this that worked at Kmart back in the 90s remember sitting down and watching this K-Lumbo safety video? The Terror of Tech Town. The Terror of Tech Town is a game that was originally meant to release for the NES as a game compatible for the Power Glove accessory. The game was developed by Mattel during the late 80s. And was announced in the official Power Glove Gameplays game tape VHS to be released in 1991. However, the Terror of Tech Town was left unreleased. The game is lost. I'm sure that Nintendo or Mattel still have a copy of this game somewhere. However, it is very unlikely it will ever release and see the light of day. Bones Skeleton Crew. Bones Skeleton Crew was a spin-off web series of the popular TV series, Bones. This series was available to watch on October 6, 2006, through a subscription on the now-defunct Sprint TV service. The spin-off and all of its episodes would then be placed on the official Bones website, but was later removed and never archived. The show contained 22 episodes, all being 2 minutes long. None of the cast from the main Bones series was in the spin-off. This series instead revolved around the plot of 3 Jeffersonian Institute lab technicians who would use their various skills to piece together various mysteries. Every single episode of this show is no longer available online. The only things which are left of it include just a few several screenshots. 1975 McDonald's commercial. On the r/tip-of-my-tongue subreddit, a post was made by a user who goes by Half a Bad Sandwich, who was in search for a McDonald's commercial their mum was in during 1975 or 1976. The campaign was, "You can count on us, you deserve a break today." It was filmed in Baldwin, New York, and had real McDonald's employees at the time as actors. My mum had gotten picked to do an audition and got a part. The commercial started with a guy wiping a table, and the lyrics "You can count on our smile" playing over the video. All the lyrics she can remember are "You can count on our smile, you can count on our beef, it's 100%. and at the very end, you can count on us. She says it was played during the World Series. It was also played at the end of an employee training video. Again, it was played in the mid-1970s, around 1974 to 1976. The employees wore the standard light and dark blue uniform at that time. Any help would be appreciated. Edits. The training video I referred to was a cash register training commercial used in the late 70s to the early 80s. Also, trying to remember it more carefully, she says it was most probably recorded in the summer of 74 or the summer of 75. This post was created August 5th, 2020. It's been a long time since this was posted, and so far, it seems that no one has been able to bring up the commercial. Hopefully soon it resurfaces. Google Lively. Google Lively was a web-based virtual world game that was created by Google, with an open beta being released July of 2008. Lively was going to be Google's take on the virtual world genre of games, having major similarities to the massive virtual world game Second Life. Players in Lively could create and design their own custom avatar and spaces, and could also be embedded into a blog, Facebook web pages, and MySpace page. You could also interact with other players in an open world, using text bubbles to talk to one another. After only 5 months of the game being available, Google announced November 19th, 2008, that Lively would shut down. The servers and the website for Lively were shut down and became inaccessible. The game's assets and codes haven't resurfaced since Lively shut down, and I don't think Google have any plans to bring back Lively anytime soon. Farm Game. August 3rd, 2022. On the Lost Media Wiki forums, a post was created regarding a lost game that was once available to play on the website Cool Math Games. I used to play this very basic farm sim game on Cool Maths Games. It's simply titled Farm Game. I know it's real because I found the archive link to the page. I cannot seem to find the actual game. It's no longer on Cool Maths Games, and searching for it isn't very helpful. Cool Math Farm Game brings up other Cool Math farming games, not this one. It no longer exists on the website, and I'm not sure what other, if any, websites it was on. I remember it being mostly text with some very basic pixel graphics. It was all about money management. It also says that it was designed by a Derek Ramey, and this is all I could find about him, if that's even the correct person. As far as I'm aware, it seems that this game is still yet to be found and is missing. Tiger Child. Tiger Child is a 1970 documentary short film, which was directed by Donald Britton. An official synopsis describes the film as following. Through the use of multi-image compositions and giant IMAX format full-frame shots, Tiger Child expresses a poetic vision of civilization at the dawn of 1970s, filmed on locations around the world as a travelogue of the human spirit. Tiger Child was the very first film shot in IMAX, a file format that had been developed in Canada during the late 60s. As the documentary needed a purpose-built theater and a specialized projection system, it was only shown over a span of 7 months at the Expo 70 in Osaka, Japan, where it would premiere on March 15th, 1970. The film had been screened at the Fuji Group Pavilion, where guests would watch the film from a rotating central platform as it played on a continuous loop. The film hasn't seen the light of day since 1970. It hasn't been re-released in any way despite its importance to the history of IMAX. Very little information is known about the film. Strange Hill High, Merchant of Menace. On the Lost Media subreddit, a post was made regarding a lost game. Strange Hill High, Merchant of Menace was a game based on the television show Strange Hill High. The show aired on CBBC from 8th of May 2013 to the 15th of December 2014. In the game, you played as 3 characters, Mitchell, Becky, and Templeton. I have found a trailer for the game and a channel that has a mobile playthrough. I vaguely remember the game myself, but I think the plot is that a clown called Will has turned the school into chaos, and you have to stop him whilst trying to avoid the headmaster. As far as I know, the game was only released in the United Kingdom, but again, I may be wrong. If anyone can help find this game, please tell me. Did any of you play this game? Easiest game in the world. Alright, I'm saving this entry for last. I need help finding an old mobile game that I haven't seen for years. This technically falls under unidentified media, but screw it. Who knows, this could potentially be lost media. The majority of old obscure mobile games I used to play all the time have become lost media, so we will see. Anyway, this was a game I used to play on iOS maybe back in 2012, I believe. The game was titled something along the lines of easiest game in the world or most simple game in the world, something along those lines. After pressing play, a hand would pop up in front of a brick background. A male narrator would then state that this is the easiest game in the world or something like that. Then the hands would move, with the narrator saying, if this is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4, and this is 5, then what is this? You would then have to click the right answer and it would repeat. I never understood the game, and it has been on my mind for years. Hopefully the whole 3 of you that have bothered to watch this video for over an hour can help me solve what this game is. If you know, put it down in the comment section.